The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. Thanks so much for starting your trading week off right here with me on the Morning Market Kickoff, and we kick things off with markets green across the board right now. S&Ps, we're up by about 0.2%. See a little bit of volatility coming into the opening bell. NASDAQ 100, we're up by about 0.3% right now, 25,820. You see the volatility on Friday. Quite a volatile session in both directions. The Dow up by 43 points, or about 0.1% right now, 48,045. And how about the Russell? Leading the way, up by 0.7%, up 17 points to 2542. We jump over to yields. We got a Fed decision 2 days from right now. Fed decision on December 10th. And right now, we got the 10-year at about 4.15. What are we at right now? 4.15. Yeah, 4.15%. The yield on the 10-year, as you got higher yields, right? You check out where we were. November 25th, you were pushing 4%. We're down a full 1.5 from there, and we're at the critical area from where you bounced on November 6th. You back this out, and as you see, right? We were at the upper bound. Now we're at the lower bound. Lower price, higher yield, 4.15%. And we are coming into a Fed meeting, as I mentioned, in 2 days. And the market is about 90% sure. 90% probability as of today. And don't expect these probabilities to change much coming into Wednesday. It's not like we're going to get radical data or any data in any degree, really, that would change that. So you got about a 90% chance that they're going to cut, 10% chance they stay where we are right now, which is 3.75 to 4%. That's where they are right now for the target range. You jump over the dollar. Been under pressure lately. This morning, we're down by 4 pennies, chopping around near 99. Yeah, that's a 5-minute chart. We were just above 99. You were at 98.80 in the pre-market. 98.95. Check out the dollar on a daily. And what's remarkable here is, okay, I just showed you that we've had yields go from 4% to 4.15, right? You go back on the 10-year, you back it up to November 25th, you back it up to October 17th. That was higher price, lower yield, but even where we were on November 25th, the 10-year, okay, is at right where we were on November 6th. Yeah, look at the dollar on November 6th was at 99.79. Long way of saying dollar's under pressure. Okay, we've had yields rise. That usually leads to a stronger dollar. And meanwhile, you get the dollar under pressure right now. We're at 98.96. You got dollar weakness. And check this out. So you take a look at the longer term chart. Okay, this area of 100, nice round number. An area of support turns into an area of resistance. But on a longer term perspective, man, we got this really interesting spot here where either 100's going to win out or the uptrend channel the dollar's been in for the last 17 years is going to win out. And we're going to find out, right? Is 100 going to be the area? And look at this. 100's an area that's been real for 10 years. You accelerated up there in 2015. The end of 2015, you bounced again. Now, we got well above there in the beginning of 2016, but look at the rollover in 2020. Okay, during COVID, and then that area turns into support in 2023, 24, and late 2024 as well, and now it's turned into resistance. And boy, the battle's setting up as we're coming into this little triangle here. And my opinion is, folks, the dollar looks weak. We're coming into cuts right now. I think the Fed's going to run it hot. The only risk is inflation, and if that happens, yeah, the dollar will flip the other way. But in the near term, okay, the near term is not worried about inflation. The near term, the Fed is under pressure already. There's a 90% chance they're going to cut in 2 days. And we're going to get a new Fed chair nominated in like the next 4 weeks, right? You get a holiday trading, new Fed chair. They're going to get confirmed. They'll go through that process, but the market will start forward looking. Cuts are coming down the line. And that's going to keep pressure on dollar weakness in the near term. And yeah, that should help the gold market and gold and metals, right? Gold this morning. Let's go back to a daily. Let's put another 5 minutes. See the overnight action. There's your volatility on Friday. Oh, those Friday gold market sell-offs. Gold trades from $42.90 down to $42.30. That's right where we bounced this morning. We're trading right now negative by $4 in gold. Silver down by 24 pennies. And I tell you, let's look at the volume for a second, okay? Let's look at the weekly. This boy is strong in silver. Look at silver. Now, you had a holiday week November 24th, okay? But even on an average daily basis, you take it out with volume. You do. Now, you got this volume bar out here in silver from October 13th. 757,000 contracts on a weekly basis. But you broke above those highs, and you did it with volume, 59.90. Now, you look at that chart, right? So strong, silver. Gold's not quite as strong. Still strong, not quite as strong when you look at the volume. Look at the volume, the difference in the profile. Okay, this is a weekly. Look at the volume last week in gold. Nothing. Didn't break the highs. Didn't have volume. Didn't get above the volume of November 10th, right? Nothing like that. You look at silver, right? There's November 10th. You did it with volume. Look at the different profiles, right? Silver trades above the highs of November 24th, the holiday week. You trade above the highs of November 10th. You do it with more volume than both weeks. You go back to gold, and no, you had lighter volume. And if you average out the daily basis on volume, that was actually the lightest volume week we've had in gold going back to August. Okay, now you pull back a little bit, though. So lighter volume on a little bit of a pullback in gold. And today we pick things up, but dollar's under pressure, man. Dollar's under pressure. Metals look great. Silver looks tremendously strong. Okay, we jump over to copper. Copper's having a moment, man. Look at the volume on copper on the move. Okay, copper, there's your weekly. Go back to some areas of resistance, support. Holiday week was decent volume on copper for 3.5 days. Remember, November 24th, 183,000 contracts. That's a holiday week. And then what do you do last week? You break above all those, that 525 area, and you do it with tremendous volume. 251,000 contracts last week. Yeah, right up there, the second highest weekly total outside of this sell-off from October 6th, going all the way back to that kind of pullback that had to do with the tariffs. Looks like we're on our way to test those highs. Today, copper down about 2 pennies, but look at that volume. Copper looking strong. Check out some of the copper stocks. Now, Freeport-McMoRan, up near the top of its range, they're dealing with their Grasberg mine. They got some issues that are going to weigh on them. But how about Southern Copper? Quite a breakaway, man. Now, volume-wise, we're going to need a little bit more volume to break through these highs. Look at the volume we have. Now, these are the copper stocks. Southern Copper, up to a high of almost 145. You do 8 million shares. Okay, holiday week, you do 4.5. Couldn't quite get above the highs. You only did 5.3 last week. Okay, but copper looks strong. Southern Copper looking particularly strong out there. FCX, they got some issues just pertaining to that equity in particular. All right, folks. The Netflix headlines are clicking already this morning. So, Paramount Skydance launches a hostile bid. Yeah. The richest guy in the world and his son. I keep saying it. Look at Warner Brothers. Up another $1.50 today. We're coming back. We'll talk some streamers. Look at Paramount. We're coming back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. So the battle is on, and they want Warner Brothers assets, man. Now look at this run. Warner Brothers, $27.87. Now I'm pretty sure the purchase that Netflix was going to pay them amounted to something like $27 in change. So yeah, the battle's on. They're not going to go down quietly. And you take a look at Netflix shares. And, you know, the bummer about all this is that you do have Netflix, the clear leader in streaming, buying the number 3 streamer, that's Warner Brothers, and the number 2 streamer is Amazon Prime, which is not even a streaming company. So realistically, the 1 and the 2 streamers out there that control almost everything are going to combine, and it's the purest monopolistic form ever. Now, the other side of that is that you could make the case that even the Paramount one is anti-competitive, because those two, and it's right, but it's a lot easier to make with Netflix, you know? Right. Whatever happened to the antitrust? I mean, I can't wait to see how they're going to try and get this through, because I think even to the layman's term, okay, it makes a lot of sense that this just seems like two of the biggest, you know, companies out there, and there's not many of them that compete to this degree, you know, and they're going to make the case. Listen, you got YouTube TV, you got Disney, right? You got Paramount out there as well. You got Comcast, okay? But that's not how it works. The reality is the monopolistic nature they're going to have with the movie studios in particular, the way Warner Brothers was able to price check Netflix to a certain degree because of the clout that they had, that's going to be gone. Now, the deal that they're talking about for Paramount is saying they're making a hostile bid at $30 a share. Look at that. Listen, if I'm, you know, I don't know how it makes sense with this one getting through regulatory. Number one, Trump and Ellison are on good terms to some degree, okay? And number two, it just doesn't make sense, okay? It's not even about cronyism, okay? Maybe the cronyism is just going to actually lead to antitrust policing, which it always should. But as in, it's a very reasonable thing for the president to say that's anti-competitive, I'm not doing it, whether he's friends with Ellison or not. It's a big breakup fee that Netflix put out there, okay? Was it $5.8 billion? And yeah, so Netflix's offer was $27.75, and they're going to come in with a hostile move that the shareholders are going to have an opportunity for their deal. Yeah, the other part of it about this that should come in is executive pay. You got Zaslav out there making $50 million a year, becoming a billionaire. What did he do? He did nothing. He ran Warner Brothers Discovery into the ground to the point where it can't compete as its own company. It's got to get bought out. And yes, streaming wars are all competitive. Okay, the consolidation going on. You got to be so big. Folks, look at where this equity was prior to the acquisition talks. Okay, and guess what? Now that you know what's coming, maybe some of this volume leading up was talk of the Ellisons, right? The people in the know. They always know more than you think. Okay, there's always somebody out there that knows more than you folks, okay? To think in this world of business that somebody didn't know that they were going to go after Paramount and then right away scoop in and try and go after Warner Brothers. The point being, this equity is trash. And Zaslav was taking $50 million, and what ended up happening was his options were so far out of the money. I'm gonna find this article I was reading over the weekend. Is that when he just renegotiated his deal, his options were so far out of the money from his prior contract because the shares did so crappy during it that they didn't even seem real because he wouldn't be able to get back to that level. It was like $30 or $40 the share price had to get over. That's because he probably signed that deal somewhere back here when it was at $30, right? So he got options for free. He torpedoed the company. I mean, the name change thing is they'll do a Harvard business study about what an abysmal failure it was taking the name HBO out of their name when it's been a mainstay since I was a kid for 45 years, okay? And then he runs it so poorly that he finds a suitor for all the assets he's been mismanaging, and he cashes a check to the tune of $1 billion. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, that's the case why you could see some problems going on with this deal, okay? The other side of this is, and everything is a risk reward, okay? But you better believe that this isn't. They don't. You're doing a deal like this, folks. You don't leave it up to chance. Okay. So you have Sarandos meeting with Trump for an hour, multi-hour long meeting. Yeah. So he was at the White House in the last few weeks for a meeting with Trump over more than an hour. That is a long time to sit down with the president of the United States to lobby why Netflix should be able to buy their biggest competitor. Okay. The two discussed a range of topics, including the auction of Warner Brothers. So he's no fool, Sarandos, okay? The streaming TV leader wasn't any kind of an all-powerful monopoly, Sarandos argued, and had suffered its own subscriber losses a couple years earlier. They don't have broadcast networks or cable channels. He was making the case. And so this is not as simple as it's not getting done. He sat down with the president. He made his case. I'm sure he listened to what the president had to say, and then he signed a deal to buy them with a $5.8 billion breakup fee. Okay? So, yeah, he's made his bet, right? And he's risked at least $5.8 billion with a bunch of else. Now, here's one step further of this conversation, which I thought was awesome this weekend. Check out this angle of things, okay, which is getting talked about, and it's not conspiracy theory because you better believe it's real, and you better believe that competition, okay, this is a war, and those Warner Brothers assets, that battle is on, okay, and the last thing Netflix wants is Ellison controlling Paramount. All of a sudden, you have a competitor. Netflix does not have a competitor right now. Who is their competitor? They would have a competitor, okay? So we're going to see how it plays out, man. But the battle's on. But Sarandos, he did his homework. And here's the greatest part about this, I think, is if you think of it this way, right? What's really Netflix's risk? Netflix's risk is they go through this, it gets turned down, they take a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years to go through the whole process, and it gets taken down, right? Can't go through. It gets overturned by regulators. They decide to enforce antitrust laws to prevent monopolies. Netflix is still a big winner. Do you know why? Because for the fee of $5.8 billion, they take a shot at getting HBO, and they might get them. But worst case scenario, they tie HBO, their biggest competitor, up for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, where they can't do any big deals on their own. They're in like a holding pattern, right? Warner Brothers is in a holding pattern, okay? They can't, leap fast, make big changes. They're in a holding pattern because they're about to get bought out. Netflix has frozen their greatest competitor for a year and a half, and that's their biggest risk if the deal doesn't even go through. But this one's going to take a while to play out. Lawyers are going to make some money on this one. We're coming right back, folks, for the opening bell.
It's like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got Netflix shares down about 87 pennies. Going to be interesting to see how this market starts pricing in the developments here, because if I'm a Warner Brothers Discovery shareholder, why am I taking the Netflix deal at $27 and change instead of taking the deal for Paramount? The Paramount deal is more likely to get done. It is. Netflix deal might be likely to get done. The Paramount deal is more likely to get done. It's $30 a share. And yeah, I do own some Paramount, folks, but that's just the risk reward of myself. I mean, please make the case that I might be missing and not saying it, but think as traders, think as risk reward, man. Oof. Yeah, that's because they call it the smell test, right? Does it pass the smell test? Do you think that Netflix buying Warner Brothers is not anti-competitive and may not hurt the consumer? Of course it's going to. Doesn't pass the smell test, man. Okay? Warner Brothers is one of the greatest competitors. And yeah, they're both trying to grease the wheels. And, not surprising to see Sarandos out there. And that's what I said, all right, so, what do we not know here? He sat down with the president for almost a couple hours, CEO of Netflix. And then he put $6 billion on the line that he thought this deal could get done. Well, we're going to find out how good his people reading skills are. Because if he sits in with the president for that long, and we'll see how it plays out, man. And, there's a lot to be said about how things are running in this administration. But, boy, I wouldn't want to be competing with Larry Ellison if it was about making sure that whoever's in the know and giving the administration, whatever they got to give him. Pretty sure Ellison's going to make sure that he's getting that done if that's what's in play. Netflix down by 1.5%. Warner Brothers, they're the big winner no matter what. Now, remember, $30 is the cap here, okay? $30 is what Warner Brothers now wants to pay. $27.75 is what Netflix wants to pay. In a more perfect universe, both of these deals would receive extreme scrutiny over antitrust, okay? Extreme scrutiny. Nonetheless, Netflix especially so. You got Warner Brothers higher. Paramount, pretty muted reaction, 50 pennies, okay? And Netflix down $1.53. Netflix been under pressure recently. All right. Talked about Netflix. Talked about Sarandos. We'll talk a little bit of Fed. So, the possible next Fed chair. It's probably the betting favorite right now. I haven't pulled it up on Polymarket. They must have odds for the next Fed chair, right? But Kevin Hassett, he's saying all the right things. It'd be irresponsible for the Federal Reserve to lay out a plan of where it aims to take interest rates over the next 6 months. The Fed's chair's job is to watch the data and adjust and to explain why they're doing what they're doing. So he doesn't like pushing out. I hate to disappoint with a sort of counting of cuts, but I can say that what you need to do is watch the data. Isn't that what Powell's been doing? If anything, he's been giving grief over too data dependent, right? Think that Chairman Powell agrees with me on this one, that we should probably continue to get that rate down prudently with an eye on the data. So inflation's got to go down. Hey, we're at 4.15%. We got a Fed decision coming up, and we got the dollar under pressure, man. Dollar, 98.96 right now. Jump over to Disney. A little Disney volatility on that Netflix news on the open. Disney right now within about a penny from where we closed yesterday. You know, if you're looking for Comcast, you really want to see a breakout of this channel. You got lows here from October of 28.39, and we are now below those lows. That's the dicey part. Okay, we do have a little bit of buying the week of November 10th. It's a pretty well-defined channel going back a couple years. July 2023, Comcast under pressure. And yeah, talking about the Warner Brothers deal. And here's the article. This one was out either Saturday. That was out Friday night, okay? One of the highest paid execs in media. Options awarded to him around the merger of Discovery and Warner Brothers, valued at $200 million in the 2021 proxy statement. Because the floundering share price, they remain out of the money today and will be worthless even with this deal. Okay, imagine it's one of these deals that you get options, and if the stock tanks, they just give you more at a lower price. What is that about? Okay, a controversial contract renegotiation earlier this year offered the CEO a new opportunity to supercharge his wealth. Options worth more than $400 million at Netflix's acquisition price. Yeah, earlier this year, he got more options that are going to give him almost $500 million because he facilitated the sale of the company that he tanks so bad it has to sell off. Yeah. At $10 a share, the stock was down 60% from the April 2022 peak. It was paying him $52 million a year last year. $20 million in cash, 21. A majority of the shareholders rejected the pay package in an advisory vote at the company's annual meeting. Shockingly high salary, what cannot be viewed as a successful performance to date. Okay, just a week later, Warner Brothers said it appreciates the views of its shareholders and takes the results of the vote seriously. A week later, he got a new contract, extended him through 2030, and gave him 23 million stock options. The existing options, it was $35 a share. Okay? Now they gave him ones at 10. I mean, it's a joke of mismanagement. And you can make the case that, well, he facilitated this deal, right? Folks, all he did was facilitating a deal to get it back to where it was before he took over. You know, these are the types of pay packages that deserve so much scrutiny, and they get nothing. You know, you get a Bloomberg article, no one's talking about this. Okay? He just renegotiated a deal that gave him options at 10 because his previous options of 35 he'd never reach, with another deal paying him through 2030, and he takes $1 billion out of the pockets of shareholders. We're coming back, folks. Stay tuned.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets chopping around. You got the S&P, a little bit of a sell-off on the opening bell there. We're negative by 3 points, 68.74. We got lows near the close of Friday. You got all the way down to about 68.67 on the S&Ps. You jump over the NASDAQ 100. Not quite as pronounced, but some selling under where we were at about 9:30. Still positive by 47 points. The Dow negative by 155. And we jump around. So some of the equities. Tesla off by about 2%. Yeah, Berkshire down 1.8% right now. You jump over to the Dow. What do we got? So Home Depot, that's always a big one. $350 stock off 1.9% for Home Depot. Procter & Gamble off 1.7%. UNH off by a percentage. See, Triple M off 2.6%. You got Boeing in the green. Microsoft, Cisco, IBM, Salesforce, NVIDIA. Let's jump over to NVIDIA. What do we got going with NVIDIA? Yeah, so is that it with the state? So Trump says he'll sign an executive order curbing state AI rules. Well, if you remember, folks, in the Big Beautiful Bill, they tried to rush through something that said, like, for 10 years nobody can regulate anything to do with AI. Well, even this Congress wasn't cool with the president with that. They overruled that one, and now he's going to sign an executive order, because executive orders and presidential power are how things get done right now. Okay, it's an executive order limiting states' rights. Okay, it's an executive order limiting states' rights. Okay, that's what it is. That's what the president's doing today. We'll see if his party cares about that. State AI rules, you want some AI rules? You want them in your state? You got no rights. President says so, it's an executive order. Nonetheless, NVIDIA, higher. Drips of sarcasm, folks, but in any other universe, yeah. Now, we got more than that going on, though, because Broadcom just doesn't stop, man. Look at this, up another 3% today. So Microsoft's discussing designing custom chips with them. The news cycle on these AI stocks is just remarkable. There's your move on Microsoft, up by 1.3%. You jump over to IBM. They're up by 2%. And yeah, this one has to do with Confluent. Talk some Confluence. How about Confluent stock? Yeah, IBM, $11 billion acquisition. CFLT. There you go. Up 28%. IBM's buying them for $11 billion. We take a look at IBM. Yeah, quite a run, man. Look how when you break out of these channels, folks. All right, Bud Rolf's the channel master. You're in a down channel from 2012 all the way to basically 2022. You break out of that channel. You break out of it decisively in the end of 2022. You come back and test it. Okay? And then you really break out, and there's the test, folks. Okay, the buy wasn't when you break out. The buy's the test. And watch this. Check this out. You break out in January of 2024. This is a monthly. Break out of the channel line, right? Decisive break. You do it on 130 million shares. You come back down. You test it on 98. That was the buy. Hindsight 2020, of course. But if I'm writing another chart of, if I'm writing another version of my dad's book, Time of the Trade, we're putting channels in there. We're putting testing the channel. That's a textbook break of the channel, right? Even how it shifts to an uptrend. You have a break of the downtrend channel, which breaks out here, right? Here's your downtrend channel in red. Okay, you can make the case that you break out of it. You break out of the downtrend channel. Here's where you've tested the downtrend channel. Well, you have a shorter time frame uptrend channel. Well, there's where you break out of that one. Mammoth moves. And yeah, you're up by another 1.8% today. Oracle, well off its highs. Up by 2.2% today, with AI taking a little bit of focus. We jump around to some of the other Magnificent Seven. Amazon up by 0.2%. Google has been the big winner recently. It's chopping around, consolidating, down almost 1% today. Warner Brothers near $28 right now. Checking out on that saga. Paramount Skydance. Yeah, we opened dramatically higher. You rip lower from the open, but still up by just 24 pennies. And Netflix. I mean, you had to be ready for it. All right, you had to be ready for it. I said, did you really think this wasn't going to be an all-out battle, whether it's with the Ellisons or the Justice Department when you're talking about antitrust? And that breakup fee is going to come from somewhere, folks. And just so you know, that's not a nothing breakup fee. I know you know, but we're talking about $5.8 billion. The market cap's only $400 billion. This is not a $4 trillion company. Okay, this is a $400 billion company. That's a 1.5% hit right away. This deal doesn't get done. Now, Reed Hastings, he's willing to make that bet. And I just told you, worst case scenario, they freeze their competitor, their best competitor, for 1.5 years when they go through this whole saga. Now, maybe it'll be less time. As in, they won't freeze them for that long. If Paramount comes in, they want this, and they're going to get it done. That would be my bet. Let's see what we got. So look at how even on Polymarket. Now, I don't have an account here, and you can't trade on here in the U.S., right? Is that my understanding? Will Netflix close the Warner Brothers acquisition by the end of 2026? You're as high as 25% at 4 in the morning. You're down to 17%. And I guess this, what is this, just opened maybe yesterday? And who are the chumps buying there? Look at that. Kalshi's got to have ones too. If anybody has one, let me know what those odds are running at right now. I'm guessing they're pretty close. And the remarkable thing is, this is just risk reward. We do it all every day. They're just doing it with bigger numbers and bigger amounts of zeros. You know, that was a calculation, and I was surprised they made that calculation. Now, when I saw Sarandos was in there in the White House for a couple hours with Trump, I said, okay, he's making an informed decision. I don't know the details of what's going on, right? But I don't know. The more it comes out, the battle's on, the hostile takeover bid is out there. And yeah. I mean, put yourself... Here's what I don't understand quite yet. Why would you as a shareholder not vote for the Paramount deal at $30 a share. Now, if it's an all-stock deal, right, the details matter. If it's a big stock deal, you could have the Paramount stock decline that you're taking. That's a big portion of it. The details, that'll matter. But they're going to make it a competitive bid, folks. They're putting it up to a vote. Markets shopping around. S&P's off by 2. We're coming right back. There we go. Right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps right now, negative by 1 point. We jump around to yields, Fed in focus. Yeah, look at this. Lower price, higher yield. We're negative by 10 ticks right now. And we got the 10-year pushing 4.17. Okay, and this does not have to do with the December decision, folks. Okay, December decision nearing 90%. You got higher yield coming at you right now. Look at the 10-year, 4.17. We're breaking away. We're now below the lows of where we were on November 6th. Interesting is, and it's gone the other way recently, where yields have gone down into the Fed meeting. We get the cut, and then we get a pop, right? It was a situation. The cut previous meetings, and then the rates actually traded higher on the heels of that cut. Doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. Almost a reversal. And what I pay attention to is, yeah, you got some dollar strength, but then the moves are not significant. This is quite a significant move for yields. We're at 4.17 right now. right where you were at noon on Friday. Well, noon on Friday, the 10-year was 10 ticks higher. Okay, right? Point being, look at, we get higher yield. Dollar can't find a bid. Okay, dollar is under pressure right now. Higher yields are not helping the dollar right now. We are going to get pressure for yields to drop. So if higher yields are not helping the dollar to the upside, what's going to happen when we actually get lower yields? Yeah, you're going to have dollar weakness. Gold down by $11 at 42.30, and silver, the king recently, down by just 6 pennies. And yeah, follow that volume, folks. Okay, take a look at that volume in silver. All-time highs last week. You break above those recent highs with volume on a weekly basis. You take a look at the daily on silver. Okay, that's the high right there. That was last Monday. You traded up to 59.43. You did it with volume. You got slightly above it on Friday, and you gave it up on lighter volume. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in, kicking your Monday off right here at TFNN. Stay tuned. You got Basil Chapman coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes at 11 with the Trader's Edge. Fast Market at 12. Larry Pesavento at 1. And I'll see you at 3 o'clock, folks. Have a great Monday, everybody. Thanks so much.